Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be looking at an overview, a little review of Batman the Golden Age Omnibus Volume 1. I read all of this. It was a very good book. I actually like the Golden Age. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I do. And yes, this is his first appearance with the purple gloves and everything. Let's see the side of this book here. Simple, it's the first cover of Detective Comics 27. And in the back, just showing you that it collects Detective Comics issues 27 to 56, or the Batman stories in those issues of Detective Comics. Batman issues 1 through 7, New York World's Fair Comics number 2, and World's Best Comics number 1, and then the title change to World's Finest Comics issues 2 and 3. I was surprised by how many supervillains were in this omnibus already. I always thought they were kind of, Golden Age didn't have a lot of Batman supervillains all the time, but no, yes, Catwoman appears, Scarecrow, Penguin, Joker, Hugo Strange appears 2 times at least, and yeah, we also get Robin in Detective Comics issue 38, Dick Grayson, which, fun fact, Dick Grayson, the first Robin, is the 4th most published comic book hero, or just comic book character behind, of course, Spider-Man, Batman, and Superman. Well, I forget. I think Superman has to be number 1 most published, right? Well, let me take the cover off and we'll flip through it this whole thing really fast. Actually, before I do, this is what the first side looks like. Batman the Golden Age Omnibus. And then on the other one, it talks about Bob Kane and Bill Finger, the writers and creators, some of the greatest, 2 of the greatest creators of comics in the Golden Age. Hopefully you can see this, the Batman the Golden Age Omnibus Volume 1. It's very small here. You can't really read it unless you're trying to. I'm kind of trying to point it out. On the back has nothing, just some dust, because it sat on my shelf while I read this. Nothing on the first page. Here we go, compilation of artwork here. And here is all of the dates. Started off in May 1939. Batman issue 1, spring 1940. Of course, had the first appearance of the Joker. Had Hugo Strange return. Had the first appearance of Catwoman. Clayface first appeared in Detective Comics issue 40. One of Batman's earliest villains was Clayface. And he actually returned in Detective Comics issue 49. That was, I did not know about that before I read all of this. Professor Strange returns. I just call him Professor Strange. I actually did a review on this comic Batman issue 4 on my channel a few days ago. This all ends with Batman issue 7 with another Joker story. Let's see if there's anything I want to point out. No, so this ends in October to November 1941. Oh, Scarecrow's first appearance, my favorite supervillain ever, the Scarecrow, in World's Finest Comics issue 3. Where's Detective Comics 38? Right here. Robin, the Boy Wonder, the first appearance of Robin. Issue 36 was the first appearance of Hugo Strange. Okay. And then there's this 3-page foreword by... Who was it again? Oh, well, it was just by Dennis O'Neil. This was done in August 2015. And then here we go. So... there is a lot of dialogue on some pages, but I actually didn't find it too bad. I know a lot of people say the Golden Age is full of dialogue. Oh yeah, and Batman, I mean, he does sometimes result in someone dying, but anyway. He fights this guy, Dr. Death, I mean. And of course, there's the Mad Monk and Dala, the first 2-part adventure of Batman. I heard about these, but going through this was my first time reading it, and it was really good. I'm just flipping through here. Issue 33 is the first time we see the origin story of Batman. So yeah, he first appeared in Detective Comics 27, and we get his origin story in issue 33. I actually really like that. I completely forgot that was a thing of Batman. He fights this evil-looking magician. You get some stinker stories here with special artifacts. This is the first appearance of Hugo Strange in issue 36. He's like a crime boss, right? Or he's trying to be. I think he gets locked up at the end, but of course he teases that he's going to return. Let's see. Was this after the first appearance of Robin? Yeah, so Detective Comics issue 39 is the origin story of Robin. First appearance of Robin. And the next thing they show us is issue 1 of Batman with, of course, Batman and Robin teaming up. And we get a first look at the Joker in history. Oh, we also get his origin story retold here. Huh. I forgot about that. So here's Joker, and at the end of the first story, he seemingly dies, but he's alive, and he returns in at least the last story. Oh no, he doesn't seemingly die. Sorry, he goes to jail, but he escapes. He has 2 stories in issue 1. Of course, Hugo Strange is here, and he creates the Monster Men, which I did not know he did that in his very second appearance. And of course, this is the iconic moment where Batman hangs one of the Monster Men. Yeah, I always thought it was a normal thug he killed, but no, it was a giant monster, so I guess it wasn't as bad as we thought. After that, Batman goes after Catwoman. She disguises herself as an old lady. And then we have Batman and the Joker facing off in the last story. I think all of the Batman issues had 4 stories underneath the cover. In the future, there would only be 3. And we get this cool page here. Oh yeah, Joker seemingly dies, but then he says, oh, he's going to live. It's a little bit of a plot twist. Oh, I hated this story. I didn't even find it entertaining. This weird shipping thing. Okay, issue 40 was Clayface. This was awesome. You could, I guess, describe it as Phantom of the Opera, but with Batman. We learned it's based on Carlo. If you know, you know. Everything about that. The first Clayface. We have this character. What's his name? Not the Masked Man, but he attacks a school, and Dick Grayson goes there pretending to be a normal guy. A normal, school child, and that's part of the story. I actually really like that. What did they say his name was? Oh well. Batman issue 2 has the Joker again in the first story. We have this crazy guy, he's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde before Two-Face, where he was reading a book, then he fell down and hit his head, and then every time the clock strikes something, he goes crazy when he hears a sound. Let's see. Oh, Batman goes on fights a circus that people are being manipulated. The World's Fair here, so I gotta say this again for my channel, but first time of this review. So you see this cover, Batman, Robin, and Superman. And on the bottom, there's also Slam Bradley and the Sandman, and later it'll show Zatanna and someone else, but I forget. But this does not mean that this at the time did not actually mean they were in the same universe. They were just on the cover for, I guess, clicks or whatnot. They never crossed over officially until 1956. So Superman being on the same cover does not mean that they are going to team up or anything like that. Batman fights a skeleton on a ship. That was kind of cool. I'm just going to flip through here a little bit faster now because I'm not even halfway through. I'm on page 355 right now. Oh, wait. Shoot. Maybe I should have... Yeah, this is the Puppet Master. Yeah, Batman has a villain in the past called the Puppet Master. And he's actually referenced later in the last story of this omnibus. Oh, it was in Batman issue 3. Which is kind of cool because the Fantastic Four have a very famous villain called the Puppet Master. This is his only appearance, but he gets referenced in the last story of this issue. So I guess it was a big deal at the time how good of a character or villain he was. I also love the intros of these where Batman is being described as a superhero with Robin. Crime School for Boys. I remember this issue because Dick Grayson goes undercover again as a normal guy and he gets the youth in the area to go to a youth center so they would stop, having the culture of becoming villains. Oh, is that Catwoman again? I think so, yeah. Catwoman is in issue 3 again, or maybe she's another girl. Oh, no, she is Catwoman. She and Batman work together and Batman lets her go because he likes her. That happens at least 2 times in this omnibus. Batman says, oh, I should also point out, I don't know if this was a thing back in the day, but there are no letter pages or anything. It's just pure stories, one after another. Excuse me. Batman fights the Joker again in Detective Comics issue 45. I kind of forget what this one was for. Yeah, a lot of times Joker does makeup to make himself look different. I'm just flipping through here again. No, that fear stuff had nothing to do with the Scarecrow. Batman issue 4. Okay, I talked about this. Joker has a crime circus he uses, and he has his first haha hacienda. And also issue 4 was the first time they mentioned Gotham City. And this is also the first time we see the Batplane turn into the Batboat, or we have like Bat-themed vehicles. A thug pretends he's Blackbeard. We have this life of a criminal called Jimmy. I just find it funny when he's on the police radio, they kick him out. His henchmen, so to say, kick him out. And then we have this story, which the most confusing thing was the title. It's called Touchdown for Justice or something else. So there's 2 different titles for this story, but anyway, Batman uses a gun here to shoot a gun out of another guy's hand, and this is the first time it's specified that Batman does not kill with weapons like that. Anyway, let's go on. Well, I'm having a really good time going through here. Issue 48, it's about a guy who's found an underground cavern to get rich off of and doesn't want anyone to know. Oh, and also, Batman has at least, his first girlfriend, Julie Madison, is in a lot of issues at the start. Clayface walks again, issue 49. I kind of wish yeah, a lot of the covers have nothing to do with the issue underneath. Sorry to say that, or maybe that's good. Basil Carlo has escaped, and he is alive, and he wants revenge, and, still going after Seth, still going after Julie Madison, and Batman defeats him. Okay. We get these acrobats, yada yada yada. Which one was this one? Batman issue 5, yeah, so Batman issue 3 out of the first 5 was the only issue without the Joker making an appearance. Riddle of the Missing Card. I actually really like the thought of this one. He kidnaps people who are rich and famous based on playing cards. There's a fire. Someone betrays the Joker. She actually does it and dies as a result, and she kisses Batman at the end. Batman goes into a storytale world thanks to a machine. That one was kind of lame. I forget what this one is about. Oops, I read it. Oh, no, so a crime doctor does surgery and saves Batman's life here. Look at that. And this one, I forget. Oh, was this the other one? Oh, Murderer. Yeah, a lot of these definitely focus more on the detective aspect of Batman rather than the cool gadgets or the fighting or anything else. Let's see. Let's get to a cover so I can, Detective Comics issue 53. La 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 la. Going through here yet again. Okay, so I'm gonna pick back up. Oh, there's one about a criminal who's been who accidentally gets in with like a big crime lord who can get people out of jail to do work for him, and he decides to betray a guy, and I think he dies at the end of the story. But Batman also kills the big guy. Oh, and this guy who's like a Clock King prototype who loves time, but he hates people who waste time. And he kills them for it. Or he worked with someone who did, and then he became crazy. This one I think was about a girl Bruce Wayne was seeing whose uncle worked for a log splitting company who's getting scammed. Suicide Bee. Oh, it's about Batman helping a cop basically do his parole on a watch call in an area where basically every cop who does it dies if they're not dirty. Okay, let's keep looking. Yeah, as you go further into this Omnibus, there's less and less supervillains, so it's a little bit boring. Here we go. My favorite, Scarecrow, my favorite supervillain. Look at that, World's Finest Comics issue 3, another comic I've reviewed on this channel with everything. Yep, here's the Tara, red, white, and blue. I think the Sandman also has a story in here, in the real comic. We just get the Batman story here. Professor Crane is a professor, sorry, not a doctor, and he teaches fear, but everyone thinks he's a weirdo because he looks weird and he wastes his money on books, so he becomes a scarecrow to get more money. He kills people, he starts a crime wave. Batman and Robin easily throw him around and defeat him. And then the next story is Batman issue 7, which is the last story in this omnibus, with the Joker being back. We get a trap with a guy you can see in a crystal ball, I guess. Oh no, I think this was the Lock Company story. And the last one, The People versus Batman. Bruce Wayne is framed for murder on purpose, but he escapes as Batman and helps clear Bruce Wayne's name. And there's a moment at the end. Oh, this is the very last page. Yeah, like I said, the man who has saved the nation's gold reserve. So they kind of talk about past stories. Beating the Joker, the Puppet Master, and other crime geniuses. And one guy betrayed earlier, sells him out to prove, again, Bruce Wayne's innocence. And here are the back, just these two these two big pieces of artwork to end the story. No extras at all. So there you go. That is Batman, The Golden Age Omnibus, Volume 1. I had a great time reading it. I also have Volumes 2, 3, 4, and 10. There's only 10 in the Golden Age lineup here. Would I recommend it? I don't know. I mean, if you're interested, it's definitely not a bad read. But I would have to say no. The Golden Age stuff, I already knew what I was getting into because when I was younger... Oh, I didn't put the cover up all the way, sorry. But when I was younger, there was the Batman Chronicles trade paperbacks that had stories from the Golden Age, and I read those and I loved them, so I knew ahead of time I was going to like reading and having Golden Age stuff in my comic collection. So I already knew I was going to probably enjoy this, and I already knew a little bit about it. But if you do not, I wouldn't recommend it. I'm sorry. With that said, here's my little review, my little overview. Crazy overview. You can get a lot of first appearances or probably learn something about Batman and his rogues gallery that you never knew about. There's stories you hear that you read and it's like, wow, this is actually better than I was sold on. So with that said, I thank you for watching this video and have a good day.